Join me as I spend the night in a haunted location and try to capture the most spine-chilling paranormal activity on camera. Welcome back to my channel, where the unknown meets the unexplained. Today, we're diving into the world of paranormal nightmares, and I'm excited to share with you some of the most terrifying footage caught on camera. From ghostly apparitions to unexplained entities, these clips will leave you sleeping with the lights on. Many of us have been conditioned to approach the paranormal with a healthy dose of skepticism. We've been taught to question the unknown, to seek out rational explanations for seemingly inexplicable events. But what happens when the evidence defies logic? When the footage we capture can't be explained away by science or reason? That's when things get really interesting. As we explore the realm of the paranormal, we begin to realize that there are still so many things we don't understand about our world. We're forced to confront the possibility that there may be forces beyond our comprehension, forces that are far more powerful than we are. And that's a deeply unsettling thought. The evidence we're about to present challenges our skepticism, pushes us to re-examine our beliefs, and confront the unknown head-on. So if you're feeling brave, let's dive in and explore the world of paranormal nightmares together. First up, we have a clip from a family's home security system, which captured a figure lurking in the shadows. The family reported hearing strange noises and feeling an unsettling presence, but they had no idea what was causing it until they reviewed the footage. Our next clip comes from a group of friends who decided to explore an abandoned asylum. As they made their way through the decaying hallways, they captured some truly terrifying evidence of paranormal activity. In this clip, we see a door slamming shut on its own, followed by an eerie laugh that sends chills down the spine. The group was convinced that they were not alone in the asylum, and this footage proves it. Our third clip is perhaps the most unsettling of all. A couple decided to set up cameras in their bedroom, hoping to capture some evidence of the paranormal activity they'd been experiencing. What they got was something truly terrifying. The most terrifying clip in our compilation is one that will haunt your dreams. A group of ghost hunters decided to investigate a haunted mansion, and what they caught on camera is simply breathtaking. The entity they captured is unlike anything we've ever seen before, and it's sure to leave you sleeping with the lights on. As we reflect on the footage we've presented, it's hard not to feel a sense of unease. These clips remind us that there's still so much we don't understand about our world, and that's what makes the paranormal so fascinating. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the world of paranormal nightmares. If you have any thoughts about the videos we presented, please leave them in the comments below. And if you're looking for more haunting content, be sure to check out our other paranormal-themed videos. Welcome back to my channel, A Paranormal Tale *, Part 1, Shadows in the House ***. Welcome back to my channel, where the unknown meets the unexplained. Today, we're diving into the chilling depths of paranormal nightmares, and trust me, you're going to want to leave the lights on for this one. What I'm about to share isn't just a collection of eerie clips. This is some of the most baffling, nightmare-inducing footage out there, and some of it straight from places you wouldn't expect. Ordinary houses, places where the walls shouldn't whisper, but they do. Let's start with something close to home, a little too close. This is footage from a quiet suburban house, submitted by a family experiencing strange phenomena for months. Everything started with small sounds, a creak here, a whisper there, but they became louder, more insistent, like whatever was in the house wanted something. In the first clip, you'll see the empty living room, bathed in the cold blue glow of a security camera. The family had heard noises around 3 a.m., like footsteps pacing back and forth. They reviewed the footage the next day, expecting to see nothing. But what they found wasn't just unsettling, it was impossible to explain. Right around the 3-minute mark, you can make out a figure. It doesn't walk, exactly. It glides, drifting from one side of the room to the other, like it's pacing. The shape is indistinct, almost like smoke, but somehow darker. And then it just pauses. It turns toward the camera, head tilting as if it's watching, aware of being watched. You can feel it, that unease creeping in, like it's looking through the screen, straight at you. The family says it happens almost every night now. They've tried everything: priests, psychics, even cleansing rituals. Nothing keeps the shadow away. What do you think it is? Something residual, trapped in the fabric of the house? Or maybe it's something darker, something that knows you're watching. Part 2, Laughter in the Dark. Our next clip takes us into an old asylum, one that's been abandoned for decades and is notorious for paranormal activity. A group of friends decided to explore it, just for fun. They were skeptics most people who go looking for ghosts are. But by the end of the night, they weren't skeptics anymore. The footage begins as they're making their way through one of the decaying hallways. Flashlights barely cutting through the thick darkness. Peeling wallpaper, broken doors, and graffiti mark the walls, and there's this echoing silence, thick and heavy, like even the air is waiting. They joke and laugh to keep their nerves in check, and then they find something. They come to a heavy, iron door at the end of the hall. It's the only door that's not rusted shut, like it's been waiting for someone. They push it open, and it swings easily, silently, into what used to be the asylum's therapy room. Here's where it gets strange when the last friend steps over the threshold. The door slams shut behind them. They try the handle, but it won't budge. Suddenly, their flashlight beams catch something on the opposite wall, handprints, dozens of them. Smeared along the walls, faded but clearly there, and some look recent. Then, out of nowhere, the temperature drops. You can see the fog of their breath, and they start to hear a low, wheezing laugh, echoing in the dark, getting closer and louder, coming from every direction. One of them shines his light toward the door, desperate to get it open. And just as he reaches for the handle, there's a flash of movement on the camera. A figure, barely visible, seems to dart right past them, laughing. The friends finally manage to shove the door open and run. But they swear, as they turn the corner, they can still hear the laughter echoing behind them, fading into the walls like the asylum doesn't want to let them go. The video ends there. They say they've never been back. Whatever they encountered in that asylum stayed with them, in their dreams, in their homes. They say sometimes they still hear the laugh when they're alone, in the quiet of the night. So what was it? A spirit trapped in the asylum? Or something more sinister? Something that sees anyone who enters as a guest who never truly leaves. Part 3, Bedroom Terror ***. This next clip comes from an ordinary couple who, for weeks, had been dealing with the sort of strange occurrences that sound like nothing at first. Lights flickering, objects disappearing only to reappear in strange places, doors closing on their own. The wife mentioned a feeling of being watched, especially at night, but they shrugged it off. That is, until one night, something happened that changed everything. They set up a camera in their bedroom, hoping to capture evidence, to see if it was all in their heads. What they caught is beyond chilling. In the clip, the room is bathed in that eerie green glow of night vision. The couple is asleep, but the silence feels heavy. Minutes pass. Then, from the corner of the frame, you see it slowly, like it's materializing from the shadows. A shape starts to form. It's small at first, indistinct, but gradually it becomes clearer. A dark figure, crouched in the corner by the closet, watching them. It doesn't move, doesn't breathe, just stares like it's savoring the sight of them asleep unaware. And then, it stands up. There's something deeply wrong about the way it rises, like it's unfolding itself from some unnatural shape. It steps forward, one slow, deliberate step after another, moving closer to the bed. The camera glitches just as it reaches the edge of the bed, and the figure seems to fade out, reappearing closer, directly by the couple. At that moment, the wife shifts in her sleep, like she senses something. Her hand reaches out, touches empty air, and in that instant, her eyes fly open, staring right at the camera with a look of absolute terror. She screams, and the figure vanishes, melting back into the shadows as the husband wakes up, scrambling to turn on the light. But here's the disturbing part. They check the footage the next morning. In those few frames where she's awake, when she's staring in horror, you can see it in the mirror behind her. The shadow figure, standing right over her, with one hand reaching down toward her face. They moved out a week later, but the wife says she still has nightmares. She swears, sometimes, that she still sees the figure in the corner of her new bedroom, watching, waiting. Is this just a bad dream that followed her? Or is something far darker still attached to her? Something that slips in and out of our world when we're most vulnerable, when we're asleep. Part 4, The Haunted Mansion. This next story takes us into the realm of true horror. A team of seasoned ghost hunters decided to investigate an abandoned mansion, rumored to be one of the most haunted places in the country. The mansion was once the estate of an eccentric millionaire who vanished under suspicious circumstances. Some say he never truly left, that he's still lingering, watching, and waiting for anyone who dares to enter his home. The video starts with the team setting up their equipment. There's a sense of excitement. These are professionals, people who've been in dozens of haunted locations. They've faced slamming doors, sudden drops in temperature, and disembodied voices. But nothing had prepared them for this night. As they start their investigation, everything seems quiet. Too quiet. They move from room to room, talking to the camera about the mansion's dark history. And then, as they enter the grand staircase hall, the camera catches something strange, a figure, just barely visible, standing at the top of the stairs. The team doesn't notice at first. It's only when they hear the faint echo of footsteps that they turn around, but by then, the figure is gone. They continue down a hallway, and that's when things get truly disturbing. As they enter the dining room, one of the cameras flickers, capturing a shadow moving across the wall, independent of any light source. Then the temperature drops drastically. You can see their breath fogging in the air, and that's when they hear it, a deep, guttural voice whispering something they can't quite make out. One of the team members, clearly shaken, decides to ask a question. Is anyone here with us? For a moment, there's only silence. And then the voice responds, clear and malicious. Leave. The lights go out, and in the pitch black, their night vision camera picks up something horrifying. Shadows begin to crawl along the walls, moving in unnatural, jerky motions, like marionettes. The shadows start to form shapes, faces twisted in agony, reaching out with long, distorted hands toward the team. Panic sets in, and they scramble for the door, only to find it won't budge. The voice returns, louder this time, echoing through the room. You're mine. The camera catches a glimpse of a face in the darkness, hollow eyes, a gaping mouth twisted in a smile that looks far too wide, like it's carved. And then, all at once, the lights snap back on, the shadows vanish, and the team is left standing alone in an empty room. The door creaks open, almost inviting them to leave. They don't wait to be asked twice. They flee, leaving their equipment behind. Later, when they review the footage, they discover something they didn't see in the moment. In each room they entered, for just a split second, you can see a figure standing in the shadows, watching them. Every single room. It's as if the mansion itself was alive, drawing them deeper and deeper, wanting to claim them. Even after escaping, one of the team members claimed to see the figure from the mansion in the shadows of his own home, watching from the corners. He swears it's still following him, waiting for the right moment to reclaim him. So is the mansion haunted, or does the spirit simply mark those who dare to enter, following them wherever they go, feeding off their fear, waiting to pull them back? Whatever the case, none of them have returned, and they warn anyone who listens. Some places are better left alone. Part 5, the final clip, the forgotten room. For our last clip, we're venturing into a place that even seasoned investigators are afraid of: the forgotten room. This is a space that no one realized was there, hidden behind a false wall in the basement of an old building slated for demolition. Workers found it by accident, and the moment they did, strange things started happening: tools disappearing, shadows moving along walls, and an overwhelming, suffocating dread filling the room. A pair of ghost hunters volunteered to go in and record what they could find. The footage they captured is beyond disturbing. As they enter, the camera's night vision illuminates a small, decaying room. The walls are covered in strange symbols carved directly into the concrete, symbols that seem to twist and change if you stare too long. In the corner, they find an old wooden chair, shackles dangling from the armrests and legs. Whoever was in that room didn't leave on their own. As they begin recording, the temperature drops sharply, and one of the investigators starts to feel faint. The camera shakes as he stumbles, and when his partner steadies him, they both hear it: a faint, mournful humming coming from somewhere in the darkness, as if someone is trapped just out of sight. They call out, asking if anyone is there, and the humming stops. But instead of silence, they hear footsteps, Not around them but above them, echoing through the floorboards. The steps are slow, deliberate, as if something or someone is pacing. They check the floor plan later. There shouldn't be anything directly above that room. One of the investigators decides to do an EVP session, holding the recorder close. "Is anyone here with us?" he asks, his voice trembling. The response comes as a whisper, barely audible over the static, yet unmistakable. Asterisk, asterisk, I see you. Asterisk, asterisk. Then, all at once, the lights on their cameras flicker. In the darkness, there's a sudden flurry of movement, a cold rush of air, and a loud, piercing scream, as if someone or something is right behind them. They bolt for the door, but it won't open. The temperature continues to drop, and they can see their breath forming thick clouds in the air. Desperate, they turn around, scanning the room, and that's when they see it. A figure, pale and skeletal, standing just inches away, staring at them with hollow, sunken eyes. Its mouth is open in a silent scream, a gaping void that seems to pull the light from the room. One of the investigators reaches out, almost in a trance, and his hand passes right through it. But the figure doesn't disappear. Instead, it leans forward, inches from his face, and whispers something that only he can hear. The cameras finally cut out, and the footage ends there. They were found hours later, disoriented and terrified, with no memory of how they escaped. When they reviewed the footage later, they noticed something chilling. The moment the figure whispered to him, a shadow seemed to enter his body, and his eyes glazed over, as if something else was looking out through them. Since that night, the investigator hasn't been the same. He claims he can still feel a presence, something dark, lingering in his mind, watching and waiting. His partner says he sometimes catches him staring off into space, muttering in a language he's never spoken before. The building has since been demolished, but they say that whatever was in that room didn't vanish with the rubble. It simply moved on, waiting for the next curious soul, the next open mind, to let it back in. So what do you think? Was it an imprint of something tragic, a memory of a soul left behind? Or was it something far worse, a presence that's been lying in wait, feeding on fear, and now, thanks to these investigators, might just have found a way out? Be careful out there, everyone. The unknown isn't just something you read about or watch on a screen. Sometimes it's watching you back,